So pruning this tree, it's a Norland, it's a spur type of apple tree, and you get all these fruit spurs all over the place. And if they're in a shaded area or inside the tree, they're not going to produce very good fruit. So we can get rid of those. Any of them that are like underneath the tree, and any that are up inside here that won't get any light, won't produce much. And then you have to pick, like these limbs, these are too low for me because I fight them with the mower, so we get rid of these. Here, there's too many limbs going on. This one's coming out at a really bad angle, so we'll get rid of that. That's really weak. I'm gonna let this one take over. Get rid of these spurs. This is pretty low hanging. Get rid of that. This is kind of crowding this area here, so it'll be blocking light. Lose it. All these bottom spurs, they're not going to get enough sunlight, so we just get rid of them.
Question while you're doing this, it seems like you're cutting off a lot of spurs, which also means a lot of apples. So for to understand a little better, about how many apples does this tree produce with this pruning? It's kind of hard for people like me to want to prune them back too far because I want the production. So can we address that?
This is Norland. It produces an insane amount of fruit, so when you're thinning, you're going to thin off probably, I don't know, 75% of the fruit. So if you cut off a bunch of spurs that aren't going to produce anything, it also saves you thinning time.
Okay. So even though you're cutting off, I mean, this is a lot of fruit that you're cutting off on the ground, the spurs on the ground. It's still gonna produce a lot of apples, and then when you thin, so you know you're taking a lot of the apples off the tree.
Every one of these spurs, this spur has 2 blooms on it. Each bloom's going to have 5 or 6 blooms, and they're half an inch apart. You're going to get rid of all but one of those anyway. And if you figure every spur has that many, it's just way too many apples.
Makes sense.
All of the blooms that are going to be inside here are not going to get enough light to produce very well, so there's no point in keeping them there. Same up here, there's just not much light that gets in up here. This limb's too low. The snow sucks.
Do you know about how many pounds a Norland produces a year? One of these trees will produce a year?
This tree is probably, what, close to 40 pounds? Something like that. Just a guess. You don't want forked branches like that because they will tend to split when they get fruit sitting on them. That's about it.